that we're all actually completely on the same page when it comes to driving vaccinations and making sure that we're doing everything that we can to reach people that we need to. This is an issue of. This is an issue.
Not working in Israel,
sir. I'm going to ask. I'm going to answer the questions of the accredited media.
Also in the UK,
sir, I will shut down the press conference if you do not cease.
It's rude to lie.
Sorry, to our accredited members of the gallery here, we might move to an inside venue. Unfortunately, we've got someone who's disrupting your press conference today, so we might reconvene. Thank you. Can we use the facility here? Sure we can. Do you know whether or not it's open?
Chief again, and I have another thought. Today, I was thinking about deflections and how all these deflections are for protection. And I'm not speaking about deflections in terms of, you know, the white supremacist deflections, which I know they're actually kinda, but you know how the white supremacists, they talk about, like, if you talk about reparations and shit, their deflection is, well, some Africans sold them the slaves, or the Arabs did a slave trade too. It's like, oh, it's that they did it too. Like some little fucking kid, like some unaccountable scumbag, you know, like a snitch in prison, or somebody gets caught up with the crew's doing some scumbag shit. They get caught up, and the one nigga or they get caught doing some shit. Everybody flees, and the one motherfucker who gets caught starts saying, they did it too, starts pointing at everybody else in the crew who did some wrong shit. It's like, okay, I agree. Like, I agree with all that shit. But we're dealing with this one. We're dealing with this tribe. And that's also some false association, how they think all black people are the same. So they got some black people. That's a different tribe of black folks. They can handle their own fucking business. We're trying to handle our business here. And I'm talking, and then the other deflection that these suspected white supremacists and the white supremacists do is, like, when they talk about degeneracy, they'll be like, who's the most rapist, the most famous rapist, and they'll start listing like 5 black folks, like R. Kelly or Bill Cosby, or you know, or who's the murderer, O.J. Simpson or something. But they will not mention, or who's the domestic violence person, the poster boy for domestic violence, like Ray Rice or you know, Antonio Brown or some shit like that. But they will not ever talk about the shit that goes on in their communities. Like, even with drug addiction, like, oh my god, they don't never talk about the shit in their communities because they have to deflect not only from us associating their current degeneracy with their history of degeneracy, but also you know, from personally, for us not thinking personally that white has to always be associated with good, like a lot of these scumbag people, especially a lot of immigrants, come here for, because they think they want to be under the good graces of these benevolent white folks who are going to give them everything, all this welfare. But I'm not talking about those deflections. Oh man, I'm talking about the deflections of these elitists. That's why I think it's partially white supremacist shit. And it has to do with these climate, because, like, you know, they're going to start pushing this climate nonsense. And the virus, the so-called, the pandemic, was actually the impetus for them to actually start instituting these climate controls. Because the shutdowns are supposed to be some, you know, model for how the people should act so they can stop releasing so much carbon in the air. And I'm just saying that it's rhetoric, just like the politicians. Their rhetoric is to deflect from their own actions. They're either inaction or they're blatant actions that are actually more harmful to the environment than any of us could ever fucking imagine. Like, we're buying their products, as I outlined in another video. So we have some complicity in, you know, what they propose is climate change. Like, the climate's always fucking changing. It was cold as fuck, it's cold as fuck now, it was hot as fuck the other day. The climate's changing all the time. The Jurassic period is different than the Ice Age. They're fucking these people. But anyway, they use their fucking suspected white supremacist scientists to make up all these dumbass models and project out, which are always wrong. Always. Just like polling's always wrong. Polling's always wrong. These people. But they're deflecting from their own, the fact that they're the ones who are the biggest climate, the people affecting the climate the most. They're the ones shipping jobs overseas and building factories in other countries. And then have to have those products shipped back to the USA when they're United States companies. When you can easy make those products in the USA, pay your people a livable wage, and ensure that this country is healthy, at least financially. And also, if we have more financial health because so much of our lifestyle and our lives are tied to finances, we'll see less drug addiction, I hope. Or maybe that's more, maybe it's more money for motherfuckers to do drugs. That we left meth heads and more coke heads or some shit like that. But, all jokes aside, I think that we would see better mental health. We would see stronger relationships because money is the number one, even though it's sad, but money is the number one reason for divorce for the most part. It's not a bitch getting her ass whooped or cheating or none of that shit. It's money. So, and that's the reason why they shipped the jobs overseas. It wasn't just to make themselves money. It was to destroy this country and to make sure it's bankrupt and poor so they don't have any competition or have any person in the middle class rising up to their level, because that's what this country can be if we were actually afforded livable wages and actually a cost of living that's affordable, because these same people who are so concerned with climate change and all this dumb shit are the same ones building these high-rises or allowing China to come in here and build all these fucking high-rises and farm all this metal and all this trees and all this deforestation and all this shit. And it's because of them, not us. They're just saying because we're buying their products, they're deflecting to us because we're buying their products, we're the biggest problem. That is the coldest deflection I've ever... and then all these fucking scumbags, mainly liberals, but more countries are getting on board because all these globalists are paying the coffers. They're spending way more money, way more, because they don't give a fuck about money now. They care about control. They're spending way more money gaining influence from all these scumbags who are propagating that we're the problem when it's actually them. They're the ones creating a new iPhone every year and have to ship them bastards over here using slave labor in China. They're the ones building these new Samsung phones and PlayStations and cars, farming the metal for cars and aluminum and all this shit, man. They think we think that shit comes out of nowhere. They're the ones funding that shit, getting coffee beans from all over the world, getting all this shit, fruit. We get fruit 24, all the same fruit. We can eat strawberries all year round. We can eat oranges all year round and be in any state in the country. We can eat apples all year round because we're moving things across the country. We are, again, complicit because we're spending the little bit of money that we have on these products. But these people are not being honest in their manufacturing. They're not manufacturing the things. What the fuck is going on with these plants? All they're doing is saying, oh, it's the oils. It's the oil companies. Oh, it's you driving a car. It's the shippers. It's all these people, but they're never ever, why don't they ever talk about their manufacturing? Jeff Bezos is talking about he's the biggest climate proponent of all time. Bill Gates, where are you manufacturing your products? Amazon, almost everything on Amazon is fucking from China. All those fucking barges on this, or all those cargo ships outside of Los Angeles and Seattle and all over the West Coast and mostly the West Coast, because these Democratic governors, these Democrats again are the biggest fucking scumbags of all time, and nobody's ever putting two and two together. Then that's why all these Democrats all with this rhetoric, while all they're trying to do is tear down statues and rename buildings and not do shit else, because it's hella easy to do that. They spend $500 on a sign, and then they say fuck everything else and have a homeless man sitting underneath the sign. And that's another thing, man. I gotta take a picture of this one day. I don't know why I haven't yet. On the train, in the metro, and on the MTA in Los Angeles, you'll see Metro stands with Joel Floyd and the protests and Black Lives Matter. Well, they got homeless niggas all over the fucking train. It's like, fuck you, you fucking deflecting bastards. And that's another deflection. And it's also a deflection from their inherent racism, because most of these motherfucking homeless motherfuckers downtown are black. And they're talking about Black Lives Matter. These motherfuckers are the most patronizing motherfuckers of all time. And it's just ridiculous how we are allowing these deflections. And especially the so-called, the most intelligent people are Democrats. Oh, I vote Democrat. And I went to this university and I got this shitty degree. So listen to me because the elite told me that, and the social currency of degree means that I'm intelligent. Having a degree means I'm intelligent. You know, even thinking that, and that's how they think too. Even that minimal, very limited thought process proves that they're actually moronic and idiotic. But we got to be careful with these deflections, man, because they're going to use these deflections, and you're going to see a lot. The media is going to buy into these deflections, and the media also. When you look at their advertisements on their sites, what are they selling you? They're selling you all this Chinese-made shit that has to fly over here or be shipped over here, and then don't even mention how many cars that they use, that they buy. How big their houses are, and building houses all over the goddamn place. And the jets the private jets that they use, and how much carbon that emits, and how much fuel that emits. Acting like they're using solar powered jets and shit. How much energy does it take to even make a fucking solar panel? Like, these people are fucking, they just think we're dumb. I think, nah, they know that we're dumb because they insured it, but, and because we also behave that way, because we're actually, you know, distracted. And that's also what's going to happen too with like this metaverse and all this dumb shit. There's going to be more distraction for us and things that we should deny. And also we should be like, oh, you care about the climate. Where the fuck are these goddamn goggles coming from? You're building them in fucking China so we can just put them on and just go into some virtual space. Anybody who does that, that person needs to be stomped out or something, man. Those things better die. Those things need to die. Like, I think Facebook is dying, so these capitalists and these industrialists keep trying to come up with all this bullshit, and it's incumbent upon us to deny it, because they're just looking to replace us. You know, that's another video for another day. But I mean, watch out for these deflections. And it's not just in the media and with these so-called elite leaders in the world who are just big lying pedophile scumbags. It's in your own life too. Like arguing with your significant other, you'll notice, like a lot of people will notice, like they'll deflect into different things to not deal with the issues at hand. And that's also what our politicians and our leaders are doing. We need to extrapolate how we think, because we're all human, even though they want to merge us with metal. Transhumanism, you know, and, you know, try to make us obsolete. But that's going to be, again, another video for another day. But I don't know. I'm all over the place like always. That's my thought of the day. Chief again. And I would like to thank you for listening to my inane pontificating. Please like and subscribe to Bad Thoughts Publishing Company on YouTube. Thank you so much.